Was this the best Monday Night Raw of the year?
Seth freaking Rollins, and this is Bretto live on YouTube.
What is going on, guys? Bretto live back with another video, and today we have Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown in a WWE action figure setup style. This is the weekend review, episode 268, where we go over both shows from that certain week. We're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw this week from Baltimore, Maryland. This very well could have been the best Monday Night Raw of the year. Obviously, we haven't seen all the Raws that are going to be in the year yet, but as of now, this is probably my favorite episode of Raw in 2024 so far. Everything was literally amazing. I loved this episode of Raw. Baltimore, Maryland. Let's talk about it. Opening up the show with the brand new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, that being Gunther. Yes, he picked up the victory over Damian Priest. If you missed my SummerSlam review video, that is on the channel, so feel free to check that out. I talk about all of SummerSlam. But anyways, Gunther came out. He was introduced by Ludwig Kaiser. Obviously, we need to be introduced to his new challenger. I was shocked when I heard Randy Orton's music. Randy Orton from freaking SmackDown randomly pops out, and I guess Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce were talking a little bit, so they were able to trade some people around. I will talk a little bit more about that later. So Randy Orton pulls up and says, I never truly lost to you in King of the Ring. I want a rematch, so I talked to Triple H, and that's going to happen. It's going to be Gunther versus Randy Orton at Bash in Berlin at the end of August here at the next PLE, which I'm excited about. Do I see Randy Orton winning? Most likely not, let's be real. But I still think it's going to be an amazing match. I thought this was awesome. It caught me hella off guard hearing Randy Orton's music. That was like the last person I would have guessed. They end with a handshake. Immediately after the opening segment, we did see Ludwig Kaiser go one-on-one with Sheamus, and I feel like this is a match we've been meaning to see for a long time, and it absolutely delivered. They were slapping and punching the snot out of each other the entire time. We were waiting for Butch to get involved again. Pete Dunne. He looked to hit Sheamus yet again with the shillelagh, but Sheamus this time ducked the shillelagh shot, and Pete Dunne met the announce table. Sheamus slammed him on the desk, and then hopped back in the ring, took care of business, beats Ludwig Kaiser clean for the 1, 2, 3. Sheamus overcomes the odds, overcomes Pete Dunne, overcomes Ludwig Kaiser. It was great. This was probably the most pissed off I've ever seen Damian Priest. Damian Priest introduced us to his new family, that being the WWE Universe. He says he no longer needs the Judgment Day and his new family is bigger and better than ever. That's the WWE Universe. And then he gets interrupted by Finn Balor on the Titantron. Finn Balor doesn't come out like the coward he is. He pops up on the Titantron, right? He pops up on the Titantron, says, Damian Priest, I'm going to get you when you're not expecting me. And then the rest of the Judgment Day surrounds Finn Balor. The new Judgment Day, if you will. Carlito, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Liv Morgan, and Dominic Mysterio. And you could just see the pissed off face of Damian Priest. Finn Balor said, you can't have me tonight, but you can have JD McDonough. You'll go one-on-one with him later. That match was amazing. I can't wait to talk about it. But this promo was so good. He was so mad. Shayna Baszler went one-on-one with Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria literally had this victory. And then Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark literally just jump in the ring and jump Lyra. I'm like, what the heck? Damage Control make their way out. Dakota, Io, and Kyrie, they make their way out, and they're like, nah, this ain't gonna happen. So they continue where they left off last week. They start beating up on Sonya Deville's new group, and then it kind of sets up for a match that I will talk about later, so stay tuned for that. But bro, Lyra Valkyria deserved that victory. CM Punk called out Drew McIntyre, but he didn't get Drew. He got Seth frickin' Rollins. Seth Rollins coming out saying, I've been waiting to do this for a very long time. He was getting ready to fight. Shirt off, no drip. He was like, let's do it, CM Punk. And then CM Punk gets distracted by who? Drew McIntyre, who was up in the crowd. Drew was up in the crowd talking some crap. He still has the bracelet of CM Punk, so it has AJ and Larry's name on it, and all he had to say was, your lovely wife, AJ. And then CM Punk disregards Seth Rollins, jumps out of the ring, and starts chasing down Drew McIntyre. Doesn't catch him, I might add. And then Seth Rollins gets his ass kicked by Bronson Reed. This caught me insanely off guard. Bronson Reed earlier in the show would approach Adam Pearce and say, you know what, I'm going to make my own path. I'm going to make my own opportunities. And he did. He absolutely beat the living hell out of Seth Rollins with half a dozen tsunamis. Listen to that. Half a dozen tsunamis. That's like 6 or 7. It was 6 or 7 tsunamis to Seth frickin' Rollins. Rollins was bleeding from the mouth. The officials could not stop Bronson Reed because who wants to get in the way of a 330-pound man jumping off the top rope? I know I wouldn't want to get in the way. What the heck, dude? He absolutely brutalized Seth Rollins. You got to think that's going to refocus Seth Rollins towards Bronson and away from CM Punk. I thought they were going to go triple threat angle, but it looks like it's going to be Seth and Bronson now, and then Punk and Drew. Got to see Jones is finally in WWE on the main roster? What? Odyssey Jones, an absolute monster of a man from NXT, made his debut on this episode of Raw when the New Day went up in a tag team matchup against AOP. Obviously, we're going to have Karrion Kross on ringside. Karrion Kross starts getting involved. He's like, yeah, you know what? We're just going to cheat to win, right? Not this time. Here comes Odyssey Jones, eliminates Karrion Kross out of the equation, and the New Day are able to inside cradle one of the members of AOP and pick up the victory, which it was pretty cool to see the New Day win. Odyssey Jones, an insane feat of strength when he picked up both members of AOP and dropped them with sidewalk slams. I thought that was dope as crap. And Kofi Kingston was really excited about Odyssey Jones debuting, but Xavier Woods wasn't very excited about this Odyssey Jones debut. Xavier Woods was more skeptical about this debut. He's like, Kofi, why didn't you tell me you met this man in the training center? Because Kofi's been injured. He met him in like the training facility. And Woods is like, well, I mean, yeah, what's up, man? Hey, what up? Nice to meet you. But I mean, like, yeah, this is kind of odd. I see Xavier Woods crumbling. Xavier Woods is going to be the man that splits up the New Day. It is kind of sad, though. I feel like Odyssey Jones is sort of the replacement of Big E, which is kind of sad because I don't know if Big E will ever wrestle again. Never say never, obviously. But Odyssey Jones looks really cool. This was so weird. Why was Austin Theory and Grayson Waller on this show? Anyways, they had a tag team match up against The Miz and R-Truth, and they won. Austin Theory hits the A-Town down under on R-Truth to pick up the victory. But the reason I say it's odd is because Theory and Waller are from SmackDown, okay? They're SmackDown superstars. I thought they were going to be more strict with the draft, but I feel like there was a trade that we weren't told about yet. I feel like the trade was Grayson Waller and Austin Theory for Jay and Sammy to go to SmackDown to do the Bloodline Civil War. That's just my current prediction. Nothing's confirmed on that, but I thought it was really odd how Waller and Theory had a match on Raw, and they beat Awesome Truth. Damian Priest going one-on-one with J.D. McDonough, and my God, Damian Priest was so pissed off. This match was amazing. The most hard-hitting match on Monday Night Raw I have seen in a long, long time. Obviously, this match, we don't see a winner, okay? Finn Balor jumps Damian Priest. The match turns into a disqualification. JD McDonough and Damian Priest's chemistry in the ring is literally amazing. Obviously, we don't see a winner. No, nobody gets pinned. Finn Balor jumps in the ring and jumps Damian Priest, turns into a disqualification. Here comes the rest of the new Judgment Day. Dominic, Liv, Carlito even jumps in there. Carlito, I got him down there. Carlito jumps in. New Judgment Day, tearing him apart. Then Damian Priest starts fighting back, finally gets his hands on Finn Balor, but then Liv Morgan takes advantage, pulls Finn Balor off from getting a razor's edge, and then Rhea Ripley comes out. Rhea Ripley comes out and eradicates Liv Morgan, if you will, starts taking her out. Looks like she's about to do a razor edge through the announce desk, but then Dominic Mysterio pulls Liv Morgan away before Rhea Ripley can do any more damage, and then the Judgment Day kind of hightails, and then JD McDonough eats one of the most wicked South of Heavens of all time into the mat. He met the mat, if you will. And then I love this. This was so wholesome at the end. Rhea and Damian Priest hug at the end, because they're the final two, man. They're the only two original members of the Judgment Day. It was Rhea, Damian Priest, and Edge. Those were the original three, man. And just to have the original two be turned on by the new Judgment Day is just absolutely insane. I love these two. I think they're amazing as face. And even though they're face, they're still really dark, and they mean business, which is awesome. I loved it, bro. We thought it was going to be Dakota Kai versus Sonya Deville until Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville would attack Damage Control backstage. It would mainly focus on Dakota Kai, injure her backstage, and then Sonya's like, oh, I'm not going to have a match tonight. I'm not having a match. But Io Sky stepped up to the plate, baby. I love how they're doing Damage Control more as like a face group. I think that's so cool. I think they could be totally over as faces, Damage Control. So it's Io Sky versus Sonya Deville, and Sonya Deville freaking loses, as she should. Shayna and Zoe tried to get involved, but then Kairi Sane freaking jumps off the top rope. They did this insane freaking move where Kairi did their insane elbow, and then Io did the over the moonsault to the outside. In the end, Sonya Deville loses. It feels great. Io Sky, face Damage Control. I'm all for it. Jey Uso was trying to get Sami Zayn's head back in the game because Sami was really sad after his loss to Braun Breaker at SummerSlam. So Jay's like, nah, pick your head up, get that rematch. And Sami's like, you know what? I am going to get that rematch. Let's go. I'm going to beat Braun Breaker. I'm going to get my title back. He is not going to beat Braun Breaker. Whether somebody screws Sami or Sami just loses clean, there's no way he gets that IC title back. Sami and Jay are going to SmackDown, bro. They're doing secret trades that we haven't heard about. Jay and Sami are going to SmackDown to help Roman Reigns fight the new bloodline. You can bank on that. I can't wait. And check it out. Yeet. And our final match. This was amazing. Zing! We saw the debut of the Wyatt Six in in-ring action. Chad Gable and what he's calling his new group, American Made, with the Creed brothers. I love that. He gave the Alpha Academy name to Otis, Tozawa, and Maxine. He's like, you guys could keep that name. We're American Made now. Chad Gable did amazing. Creeds did amazing. I love Joe Gacy. I wasn't too familiar with Joe Gacy going into this match. He is amazing. Dexter Loomis looks so creepy. Rowan obviously did great. He is an absolute unit. Only original member of the Wyatt family, which I think is so crazy. Obviously, this match was amazing. They pinned Chad Gable to pick up the victory, and you had freaking Uncle Howdy over here. And I know that's Bray Wyatt, but I just wanted to put Bray Wyatt there. I mean, first of all, it looks like Bo, and it looks like Uncle Howdy in a way. But yeah, I just wanted to put Bray there. Bray, and they're calling Nikki Cross Abby the Witch, which I found very odd. Michael Cole called Nikki Cross Abby the Witch. So I guess you could say Abby the Witch and Uncle Howdy were watching this match as it transpired. And dude, this was so good. After the match, they all get in the ring, they surround the lantern, and man, it was just amazing. What an episode of Raw. I literally loved this episode. Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comment section down below. Am I overreacting? Or was this Raw literally one of the best of the year? This was so damn good. My goodness. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Favorite moment / match? There were so many good ones. Favorite moment, Damian and Rhea hugging. I loved the match between Damian and JD, and I loved the Wyatt Six match. There was so much good stuff. I can't even exclude one thing from another. There was so much good stuff on this episode of Raw. Let's see if SmackDown is just as good. The Tribal Chief is back on SmackDown. My God, it feels good. We will get to his return, but before we get there, we got to talk about the entire show because they saved that for last. We had to wait a long time to see the Tribal Chief. Here is SmackDown from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let's talk about the entire show. Opening up the show with, and still, your WWE Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes, who would get interrupted by the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa saying, I want a rematch. I'm the only one that deserves that title match at Bash at Berlin. Cody Rhodes is like, I had somebody else in mind. Not you, Solo Sikoa. Get to the back of the line. Solo Sikoa did not like those words, so Solo surrounded the ring with the Bloodline. Here comes Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens with a steel chair. Kevin Owens still backing up his buddy, Cody Rhodes. For a second, I'm like, ooh, are we going to see a Kevin Owens heel turn? But after Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes scared away the Bloodline with steel chairs, Cody Rhodes offered Kevin Owens a championship match at Bash at Berlin. Kevin Owens is like, I'm the last person that needs that title opportunity. He would eventually accept it and get it on behalf of Nick Aldis, who would give him the match backstage, which was super awesome. So it's going to be Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes for the championship at Bash at Berlin. I could see that ending very controversial, maybe somebody getting involved, maybe some Bloodline business. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Kevin Owens, he does deserve a championship. We jumped into our opening match, which was a tag team match. It was a #1 contenders qualifiers match where the Street Profits went up against A-Town Down Under. A-Town Down Under, who already had a victory on Monday Night Raw, so they were at SummerSlam, Raw, and SmackDown. Man, they are doing triple time. How crazy is that? Anyways, they fought the Street Profits. This match was pretty decent. You had B-Fab on ringside. Pretty basic victory here for the Street Profits. They had their little double team blockbuster off the top rope. 1, 2, 3. It is all over, and we possibly have our #1 contenders for the tag team championships, those being the Street Profits. Later in the show, Austin Theory would make a match for Grayson Waller against Kevin Owens next week on behalf of Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller wasn't too happy about that, by the way. So Austin Theory is giving it right back to Waller because I feel like Waller's been screwing over Theory a lot lately. But hey, good for the Street Profits, bro. They're one step closer to tag team gold. Tiffany Stratton is setting up a big party for Nia Jax, the new women's champion, for next week. I guess Nia Jax wasn't at this show, which I found kind of odd, but she's going to be at next week's SmackDown, and Tiffany Stratton is planning a huge party for her, and she got interrupted by both Pretty Deadly and Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. But Tiffany Stratton absolutely cooked Chelsea Green. R.I.P. Jade Cargill took on one half of the women's tag team champions, that being Alba Fire. The match was okay. Pretty fast. Jade Cargill hits her with the Jaded. 1, 2, 3. Jade Cargill picks up the victory. After the match, Isla Dawn and Blair Davenport, who's sort of been in the corner of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn lately in the past couple episodes of SmackDown, they sort of jumped Jade and Bianca after this match, and then here comes Naomi. The little return of Naomi. She runs out, and she evens up the odds. It targets Blair Davenport, obviously, because Blair Davenport has randomly been targeting Naomi. Not sure why. No, but this ought to be a good 6-woman tag team match when we get it. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Our new United States champion. Man, it feels good saying that. It's LA Knight. Yeah. LA Knight is the brand new United States champion. Cutting a promo talking about Logan Paul, how he beat him at SummerSlam. He gets interrupted by Santos Escobar, who would have a #1 contenders match after this promo. Santos has a better catchphrase. Instead of LA Knight, yeah, it's Escobar C. And honestly, I can get behind Escobar C. But as far as the promo between LA Knight and Santos, I thought it was pretty decent. Right after that, we would jump into our #1 contenders match. It's Andrade, who beat Carmelo Hayes last week, going up against Santos Escobar. Winner will face the United States champion LA Knight, most likely at Bash at Berlin. Bretto and Angel on ringside, who would be taken care of by Burn the Ships, Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, so they're out of the equation. So, hey, there's nobody who could get involved to help Santos win, right? Well, maybe Elektra Lopez, who jumped on the apron, but also Carmelo Hayes, who wanted to screw over Andrade because they've been beefing the past couple of weeks. So Carmelo Hayes jumps on the apron, distracts Andrade, and allows for Santos Escobar to roll up and grab the tights of Andrade to pick up the victory and become #1 contender. Man, I'm surprised they did this, but I'm actually kind of excited about it because that means we're going to be getting another match between Carmelo and Andrade, and I love their chemistry, so I'm excited for another match between them. But hey, good for Santos. He's going to be fighting LA Knight. Now, I got to talk about this. Giovanni Vinci got a little hype video. We haven't heard anything about Gio ever since he got beat up by Ludwig Kaiser. So Giovanni Vinci's going to be returning to SmackDown very, very soon. I guess he's going to be playing this very rich foreign persona. He was driving for a Ferrari. I believe he was in Vegas, and he was just looking super royal and super rich, speaking a different language. I thought it was actually pretty cool. I'm using a Cesaro here because I don't have a Gio, but I'm curious to see what he's going to do on SmackDown. We need another tag team to go up against the Street Profits in the #1 contenders match, right? We needed another team, and we found out that other team went pretty deadly, went up against DIY in the main event of the show. Match was pretty good. We did see DIY pick up the victory with the Shatter Machine. 1, 2, 3. They will be facing the Street Profits. And who's going to win that one? Obviously, winner faces Bloodline for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Honestly, I think they're going to go Street Profits this time because DIY just had the titles just a bit ago, even though they didn't hold them very long. But it could go either way. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. But hey, good for DIY. They qualified. #1 contenders match. Street Profits, DIY. It's going to be great. Solo Sikoa wanted a piece of the Tribal Chief. He came out at the end of the show and he called him out. He called out Roman Reigns. He said, "Come get the Unifala. Come get it. It's mine. Come get it." Roman Reigns makes his presence felt. Roman Reigns comes out. He takes out Tama Tonga. Takes out Tonga Loa. Superman punches. Spears through barricades. Absolutely insane. He gets the Unifala from Solo Sikoa, but then Solo Sikoa gets the Unifala back because he sent Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa back in the ring to take the beating from Roman Reigns. Solo Sikoa barely got hit. He might have ate the Superman punch, but he didn't eat the spear. Solo Sikoa was able to escape with the Unifala and flaunt it as Roman Reigns was in the ring, kicking some butt and kicking some Bloodline ass. It was awesome. This episode of SmackDown was pretty freaking mid besides the Roman Reigns return. If I had to rank it, I'd give the show probably a solid maybe 5 out of 10. I thought it was a pretty weak episode of SmackDown, really. But my favorite moment, obviously, is going to be the Roman Reigns return. Come on, that was amazing. I really got to enjoy this episode of The Week in Review. I will see you guys next week when we run it back yet again. Bretto Live is signing out.